Because I said in the earlier message, the ITV racing message, I hope many of you see this, even ones of you that wouldn't normally. I hope you watch it to the end, because I've got some suggestions for you that I think can make you some money. Not all of you, but some of you, for very, very little outlay. I've been banging on about it for 6 weeks now, but I think over this week at Royal Ascot, it's really, really, really going to prove profitable for certain amongst you. And it's worth having a look at, I promise you. If any of the people that we talk about on the channel, like Dave the Suit, Peter Fillingham, Mickey, Flatcap, Connor, any of them see this, Andy, please tell the people that watch your videos tomorrow to come and have a look at this video. Just tell them come and have a look at it. I'm not trying to nick your subscribers. I'm not. You're going to keep them anyway. I'm also going to give tips daily. I do only at Ascot and then on Saturdays. But I'm not a tipster. I say that. I'm not a tipster. I don't put in the research you guys put in. Although for 2 days at Ascot at the moment, I'm doing really, really well. Yesterday I did brilliantly for myself. Not bad for the tips I put up. Today I've not done brilliantly myself, but I've done really well the tips I've put up. But as I say, I'm not a tipster. But it's this main bit that I want to get people into, and it's the tote. I really, really want people to watch the end of this video while I tell you how you can make some money. Now, not all of you will, but a few of you, I believe, will before the week is up, for very little outlay. And if you can make 200, 300, 400, 500 quid for very little outlay, it's got to be worth looking at. So if any of these people that run channels see this, please let folks know tomorrow in your videos that you put out, just to come and have a look at what Grumpy's done with this video. Because you won't lose them from your channel. They'll still bet what they bet with your selections because they followed you for weeks, months and years. But you give them a chance to win something else with something that you're not telling them yourselves because you probably don't really know about it or you don't do it yourself. It's worth looking at. Firstly, before we start, let's look at what I've done today. I gave 3 horses today that I said I was going to be betting. I said I fancied about 8 or 9. I said, but for all I fancy 8 or 9, some have come in on price. One I said, it's never got the distance before. I said, and I'm worried about it getting the distance, although I'll probably have a dabble on it myself. But I gave 3. I gave 3 and I mentioned 5 or 6 more. Now, yesterday I gave 3. And I'm doing every horse 1 point each way. That's all I'm doing, 1 point each way. Be it 50 pence, £1, £2, that's how I'm settling. I do everything to SP. Yesterday I gave 3 horses 1 point each way, which was 6 points. The return was 18 points, so I made a 12-point profit. I gave a 14 to 1er. That was out the places by 1, so I got nothing back. I gave a 14 to 1er that placed. And I gave a 66 to 1er that also placed yesterday. So yesterday out of 3, I had a 14 to 1 place, 66 to 1 placed. Today I gave 3 more. I gave one called High Royal. I think when I gave it 28 to 1. It bombed and come down the field. I said I wasn't as confident today. The next horse was the one I fancied the most, but I wasn't as confident today. So I gave High Royal 28 to 1, came nowhere. I also gave, I wrote them somewhere, Snellen, 25 to 1, that came second, the last but one race. And I also gave Dickensian, 20 to 1, came second, the last but one race. So today I've given 3 horses, all over 20 to 1. I do SP, don't forget. I think a couple of them I got better prices. High Royal, nowhere. Snelson, second, 25s. Dickensian, second at 20s. I said I fancied Snelson because I know it's won there before, won a 2-year-old race. It's a horse I've followed in the past in Ireland. Over the last few months it's been riding in Bahrain, but it's not been winning, but it's been 4th or 5th. But it's been 4th or 5th often in big fields, probably against classy horses. It's had a 100-day break, so it's an ideal break. It likes Ascot. I love the trainer in Cromwell, and I thought about 25s, which it was this morning, was a steal. And I thought it would place, and I think I was getting 7 places. A furlong out, I think I'm going to win the race. Sadly, I don't. One with the Sheen Murphy comes up and beats it. More about that in a moment. And in the last race, Dickensian, I said I'd watched it early on this season, was really impressed when it won, really impressed. Then it ran down the field. I think it ran 6th in its next race. I think it went from the front and would have preferred hold-up tactics. And I think it got a bit free on the front and really burnt itself out, really. And the pack came and closed on it. And then I noticed today in a replay, the jockey stopped riding. So I thought there was more there. My reasoning was Ryan is a top trainer of 2-year-olds, as is Burke and a few others. but he's normally got 2 or 3 bullets to fire at all these 2-year races. He only came with 1 today. That was Dickensian. I thought that was something of a tip in itself. I said I don't love the jockey, although I don't mind him. With a better jockey, I'd have been really keen. Dickensian again went from the front. I was gutted. I thought that was going to win even more than I thought Snelson was going to win. So I've got Chinned on the line. So I've got Chinned on the line with 2 horses above 20 to 1. So today, 6 points on. 12 at SP, 12 points back. I did better than that. So I've doubled what I've put on. Another good day. I've actually lost today. More about that in a minute when I get to the ITV7 PLACEPOT. I also gave 6 more horses I mentioned. I was going to give all 9, and then I said I'm not going to give these 6 for varying reasons. 3 horses were in the same race. I think the race I gave Snellen in, if I remember rightly. 3 others were in the same race. High Rose race, I think it was. There was 3, and they just all come in on price. One was Kirat, which came nowhere. One was, I can't remember, which came nowhere. And one was the Haggis horse that came second at 11 to 1. So I mentioned them. One came second at 11 to 1. I mentioned another horse in another race that came second at 11 to 1. I can't remember the horse's name. I've wrote it down, but I mentioned it. If you go see the video, it's there. What was it? I'll tell you what it was. The horse that came fourth, just out the money in the first race. The one, Fozzie Stack, with the Sheen Murphy on. I think Sky were paying 4 or 5 places. Anyway, so that was the one. I know what it was called and I can't remember. 3-word name, I think. So that came fourth at 11 to 1. And I also mentioned one horse that I said I was going to give. I fancied it strong. It run really poorly at Epsom about 4 or 5 weeks ago. 3 or 4 weeks ago when the Derby was on. 3 weeks ago. I had it with some match bets and I thought it was going to win and I thought I was going to be up. In fact, I think it was against Guido. I think Guido won or come second at Epsom. It was called Misinformation. I fancied it really strong at Epsom. And he just dropped it out the back and never tried on it. And my reason today was it in bad form? Had it gone backwards? Or was it that he just slept it up, put it out the back and was waiting for today? I read something that put me off and shouldn't have done, that it's only ran once before over a mile and weakened appreciably over a mile. And I thought, will it get the distance? I don't know. It was only about 13 or 14 to 1. And I was giving Snelson in the race, which I fancied more, so I didn't give it. But I mentioned it, and I said I was going to bet it, and I did. What I did was, with the 3 horses, I think it was in Snelson's race, the 3 that were short prices, I bet all 3 to win. Rather than do it each way, they were all around about 10 to 1. I bet them all to win. And I thought, if one of them wins, I'm quids in. If none of them win, I'm not putting double money on. I'm half in mistakes. I'm not putting the same amount each way. And then what I did with the horse I'm talking about, the Balding horse, I had 63 pence over in one of the bets. I think I put £5.63 on to win. So I got that up, was it 11 to 1? So it won me a nice few quid. Oh no, I bet it at 14s, I got 14s. So £5.60 at 14s. I mentioned that. I mentioned 3 match bets I was going to do. Went down straight away yesterday. I mentioned 4 match bets, 3 out of 4 won. The match bets went down straight away. And I also mentioned a reverse forecast that I couldn't see not coming in. It was miles from coming in. I fancied the hot pot of Applebee's along with One Look from Ireland there. One Look run abysmally. More about that in a minute. So they were the things I did today. Based on that, I would have won really, really, really well today. I'd have done fantastically well. Sadly for me, I did the ITV7 PLACEPOT today yet again. Now yesterday I got about 470 quid back on the ITV7 PLACEPOT. It paid pretty huge. It was only £5,000 or more in the fund, but it paid huge and I got about £480 of it if memory serves. 470, 480. Today there was a bit more in there. Let me tell you how I've done. I've lost, by the way. I've lost, but I'm gutted. I've been so unlucky. I've been unlucky that Snelson and Dickensian haven't held on. Yeah, I've got 2 nice price places there, but I've been more unlucky with me ITV7 PLACEPOT. I've done a big PLACEPOT today with loads of selections for a penny PLACEPOT. I've done one with a lot less selections for 2 pence, and I've done another smaller penny PLACEPOT. Each of the PLACEPOTs have gone down by 1 leg, in each. My biggest PLACEPOT and my second biggest both went down on the first leg. Had I have put O'Brien's favourites in there, because that's what most people do, they put a favourite in there plus others, they'd have been up. But I've got a thing about these O'Brien ones. This first 2 days, I didn't fancy the O'Brien one in the first yesterday, so I went against it. I only put it in one PLACEPOT. And and it won really, really, really well. I also didn't fancy the Willie Mullins one on the, was it 2 mile 3 yesterday? Didn't fancy it at all. We ran more up. It came nowhere. So I got one right, one wrong. Today I didn't fancy the O'Brien one again that won the first. And I know the one that run the race yesterday, the first race, beat it last time out. So it's got great form, the favourite in today's first race. But I just didn't fancy it. I had 5 in one of my play spots in the first race, and I think 4 in the other one that went down. They both went down. I had one play spot still running because I did have that in one of the play spots. But in my main play spot, I was gutted because I had the Fozzie Stat one that come 4th, and I had the one trained by, was it George Scott, that come 5th. They were only paying first 3 in the play spot. I got 4th and 5th, both at nice prices, but I didn't get the first 3. I got really, really unlucky. I thought the Fozzie Stat one was going to come 3rd. It just got chinned on the line. So I went down first leg there. And then on the other play spot, I got to about leg 3 or leg 4. What I did was, I went for, my major play spot, I went for one banker in the Charlie Appleby race, the one where Buick was up. I think it was about 11-8 favourite. It actually ran second. The Gosden one beat it. There were initially 8 runners running. I didn't know there was a horse withdrawn to make 7 because that was only first 2 in the play spots. I couldn't see One Look being out the first 3. It run a pig of a race in the end. So in one play spot, I had a banker of the Buick horse, which I couldn't see out of the first 3. In fact, I couldn't see it getting beat. Worst scenario, it was going to come second, and it did. But I thought only One Look could beat it. And in the other play spot that was still running, I had a banker as One Look. Why did I? When I knew the Appleby one would be in the first 3, and as it turned out, first 2. So I went down in the first 2 play spots, leg 1. I went down in my 3rd play spot, leg 3 or leg 4. But this is how the play spot went. It was really, really low all day today. Really, really low. Okay? After leg 5, don't forget, it's the ITV 7 play spot. It's all 7 races at ASCOT. After leg 5, they're only paying, what they're paying, bear with me a sec, I've wrote it here somewhere. They're only paying out 55 quid. The dividend at that stage is 55 quid. You know it's going to be more because there's 2 legs to go. After leg 6, it's gone up from 55 quid, it's jumped up to 1,700. And the reason it's jumped up to 1,700 is, I think Snelson, Misinformation, the Balding one, won at 14s. I think there was 4% of all the people in the play spot were on that one. Snelson came second at 25s. There was 2% on that. The horse that came 3rd or 4th, nobody was on those. So you've only got 6% of all the people left in it that are still running. I had the 1st and 2nd on 2 of my bets there, and the 1st, I think, the 2nd on one of my other bets. In the last race, I had, my bets had already gone down, by the way, but in the last race, they paid 3 places. They played 3, it's a 2-year-old race. I had the first 4 in 2 of the bets and the first 3 in another bet, but I had the first 3 in all 3 bets. So I had all 3 up. What I would have had the place pot to, in my first bet, my main place pot, I would have got that up to 24 pence. I hope you stay with this, because it's what I would have won, not what I did win. In my second place pot, I had it up to 32 pence. And in the last place pot, the one that went on the longest, I had it to 16 pence. Now, this is why I'm trying to tell you all that you should be doing the ITV7 place pot, or at least at Royal Ascot. You really, really, really should. Yesterday, in the play spot at Ascot, the normal play spot, 6 legs, there's over 500,000 in the fund, 500,000, over 500,000. If memory serves, it paid about 300 quid. Yesterday, in the ITV7 play spot, there's less than 6 grand in there. It paid nearly 6 grand. That's why I only had it to 8 pence, and I got 480 quid. I only got up to 8 pence. Today I'd have had it to 24, 32 and 16. I think it's 72 pence. I think I had it up to, 72 pence it would have been. Today, in the play spot at Ascot, again, there's 500, and I've wrote it somewhere. Sorry, there's 477,000 in the play spot today. In the standard Ascot play spot, 477,000. The dividend is a bit better than normal. It's paid 1,073, 1073. The ITV7 play spot had a bit more in it today, because some was rolled over from yesterday. It didn't all get one. The ITV7 play spot had 7,965 in there. 7,965. You'll never guess what it paid. It paid 4,192. 4,192. There's only 7,000 in there. Now, as it turns out, if I'd have got those three up, then obviously that drops it what would have been in there. In fact, no, the PLACEPOT wouldn't have paid that thinking on because... No, the one wouldn't have mattered. No, if I'd have got the first two up, the favourite won the first. If I'd have had the favourite in my first two PLACEPOTs, I'd have had it up to 56 pence. So it wouldn't have ended up paying 4,192. It might have paid about £3,000. But I'd have had it up to half of that, which would give me 1,500 quid. Now, I put a few quid on, folks, more than you'd put on, more than most of you put on. But at the end of the day, I'm speculating to accumulate, and what I'm putting on today was only won yesterday anyway. I know there's money to be made, and that's what I'm chasing. But you can do this bet with 5, 7, 10, 12 quid. You don't need loads of money on there. You can do it to a penny, 2 pence or 3 pence, and all you want to do is ideally find a banker in one race, and in the other races, put anything between 2 and 4 selections. Total them up, see how many bets they come to, and if you need to drop some selections out, do, and whatever else. And all you want to do is you want to open a couple of races, you get 2 or 3 places in a couple of races to up what you're going to earn. It's a killer bet, folks. It really is. I mean, when my PLACEPOTs went down, I never did the quad pot. I think it's absolutely crap, and I mean really crap. But I was certain the Appleby one would finish in the first two, which it did. And I went big on the last 2 races. I put, I think, 10 in race 3 on the quad pot. It was in 4 races, 8 in race 4, and I think in race 2 I put 5 because I could only see 5 getting in the first 3. I got first, second, and third in race 2. I got first, second, third, and fourth in race 3, and first, second, and third in race 4. I did it to 5 pence, and I got it up to £1.20. It paid £1.39 to £1.20 is about 160 quid. So I still may have lost today, which gives you an idea of what I put on the ITV7 PLACEPOTs. No, probably not. There's probably not much in it. It's probably pretty close. So I've had some good wins there, but I've had some losses as well. But it was money I won yesterday. Now, as for the jackpot's on 25,000 today. Now, as I said, my hope is that will go through all the way through the week and it won't get won. Sunday or Monday, which hopefully with the meeting it goes to is a meeting where it's winnable, I'm hoping to win enough on the ITV7 PLACEPOT this week to have a proper go at the jackpot on Sunday or Monday and get a percentage of that. That's what I'm hoping for. The jackpot could be huge come weekend if it doesn't get one. Well, it will be huge. It could be 200,000, 300,000, 400,000. If I can get that just to 10 pence, I'll be over the moon. But obviously, I'll need to put a lot of money on to get it to that because I'll be putting lots of selections in. And you can't do that, I don't think, oh, you can do that to pennies as well. Of course you can. But obviously, I've got to win some more money first. But, folks, if you watch this, even if you run a channel, I know it's long, I know it's long-winded, but I think there's potential for many of you out there that have never done the ITV7 PLACEPOT before to have a dabble at it over the next, 3 more days of the Royal Meeting there is, and maybe get yourself a good win. As I say, yesterday, it paid over 5,000. Today, it's paid over 4,000. There's only 7,000 in there today. There's only 6,000 in there yesterday. They are big payouts when you're not against many, many people. Not like you would be in the PLACEPOT or the jackpot, or the quad pot for that matter. There were 60,000 in the quad pot today, paid 130 quid. 7,000 in the ITV7 PLACEPOT, paid over £4,000. Have a go, folks. Have a go. And by the way, pick some big prices like I'm doing. 2 days, 12 points up day 1, 6 points up day 2. And I'm not a tipster! And I'm really not!